You go out to eat and you weigh yourself the next day and the scale spikes up 3 to 5 pounds and you're pissed off because you just feel like you've ruined all of your weight loss progress. Or you finally step on the scale and you see the weight drop a pound or two. And then the next day it goes back up. Ultimately, you are just struggling because you can't seem to figure out how to hold this weight off and hold it off forever. So you are having a big, massive issue of understanding how water weight works in your body. And once you understand how water weight works, weight loss becomes so much easier. So I want you to understand these 3 principles about water weight. And once you understand these, you're gonna start losing weight and then hold this off forever. So first, I want you to understand that your body is like a sponge. And once you understand that your body is like a sponge, weight loss becomes a lot easier. That kind of looks like a peanut, but your body is like a sponge. So you hold on to water weight for so many different reasons. Our bodies are complex. We're not a machine that we can sit there and always predict what is going to happen. But there are things that you can start predicting when it comes to water weight and start understanding this to make weight loss a lot easier. So one of the biggest reasons that you hold on to water is going to be eating more carbs the day before. So for every 1 gram of carb that you eat, you hold on to roughly 3 to 4 grams of water because your body is like a sponge. And there are times that your body will hold on to more water and it expands. And there are times that your body holds on to less water and water will get out of it. So when you eat more carbs the day before, your body will actually hold on to more water, which isn't a bad thing. It's something that you need to understand. Like I said, for every 1 gram of carb you eat, you hold on to about 3 to 4 grams of water because your body will take essentially those carbs, send it to your muscle, and it sends some water to that area as well. Now, you will also hold on to more water in your body when you have more sodium the day before. And now I realize that I'm gonna be spelling like this on camera with no cuts here, and hopefully I don't spell wrong. But you hold on to more water after having more sodium the day before. So this is just a fancy way of saying salt. So if you go out to eat, you probably have more carbs the day before, and there's a good chance you also have more salt because they salt the food a lot more, right? A big thing you'll notice is that, or that you might hear, is marathon runners having things like Gatorade or having things like drinks because it is electrolytes. You probably heard the saying that, or probably heard people talk about how electrolytes hold on to more water to keep you hydrated. This is one of the electrolytes. So marathon runners will actually drink more water or drink more electrolytes and hold on to more or have more sodium, which in turn makes them more hydrated, which in turn makes their body hold on to more water like that sponge. So inherently, you will understand that after you go out to eat, since things are higher in salt, you hold on to more water as well. You also hold on to more water because you could have had a very tough workout. And it sounds kind of counterintuitive. Like a lot of people will get a really tough leg day workout, let's say. And then they step on the scale the next day and they're confused why they're not making progress. Well, your muscles break down a little bit. They get a little bit of tear when you go and work out. Now, your body needs to repair that part of the muscle. So what does it do? It sends nutrients and water to that area to repair the muscle. So after a hard workout, you could be holding onto more water. Now, for the ladies out here, it could be that time of the month. Your hormones are drastically different when it's that time of the month. When your hormones are different, a big thing that ends up happening is you tend to just hold on to more water. Now, another big thing that can be impacting how much water you have is honestly just how hydrated that you are. If you have less water that day, you're gonna be holding on to less water just in your body. Or if it is very hot out and you have lost a bunch of water, you're gonna have less water in your body that day. So there's a good chance that you just aren't weighing as much on the scale because of that hydration level. Another one that affects hydration actually is going to be alcohol. Alcohol is what people will say like a dehydrator, right? Alcohol actually makes it so your body doesn't hold on to as much water. So for some people, unless you're somebody who snacks a lot after they drink, but I'm not the type of person. I'm the type of person that just likes to drink alcohol and I don't really like to eat when I drink. I know I'm probably in the minority of this, but I will actually notice when I step on the scale the next day after drinking a lot the day before, the scale will actually drop a bunch because I am more dehydrated now. Another big one that will affect people is going to be stress, which makes a lot of sense, right? When you are stressed out for a long period of time, guess what ends up happening? your hormones are a lot different. Your body will start to hold on to water. It's almost like the fight or flight mode, okay? Now, this is for someone who is stressed out for a long period of time. I'm not saying when you're stressed out from one long day of work. That is not what's going to affect this. And one of the other big ones that you will notice will affect us as well is going to be the amount of food that is just in your stomach. You could have more food the day before, and now you're going to weigh more the next day because you're holding on to more food and you're holding on to more water. You will see this massive list here of all these things that affect your water weight on a daily basis. And a lot of people get very frustrated with weight loss because they sit there and think, I'm not losing weight, when in reality, that scale is not just showing fat loss coming off your body. That scale is also showing all these things changing because your body is like a sponge. Your body will have times where it will hold on to water, more water, and your body will have times where it holds on to less water. So let's move into the second principle that I want to talk to you about when it comes to water weight in your body. Now, inherently, when I start talking about this, a lot of people end up asking me, how do I lose water weight now? Well, here's the thing. The goal with you is I want you to think about your body like a glass of water. So we have a sponge, and now your body is like a glass of water. You will notice with a glass of water, there is a top to it, there's a bottom to it. If I fill this up with too much water, it would overflow. So I can't just magically get water at the top of this glass. So what you need to understand is your body has basically a cap to it. You are not just gonna magically weigh 30 pounds more in one day from having more water. And you're not magically gonna drop 30 pounds in one day from having less water. You just need to understand that your body has a level of water where you're going to see it fluctuating. Some days, you're gonna see it lower down here. Other days, you're going to see it higher up here. And this is why it is so important to understand that you're not trying to lose water weight off your body. You just need to understand this is how it works and that your body just has water weight constantly changing, and we're not trying to get rid of it. We don't want to get rid of water. Your body is made up of like 60 to 70% water. You just need to understand that this is just how your body works on a daily basis. Some days are higher and some days are going to be lower. Now, the third principle that I want you to understand about weight loss is I want you to take a look at this graph. So if you've been tracking your weight pretty consistently, you're gonna start noticing that your weight is going to look like this graph. So there are going to be days that scale is going to spike down. There's gonna be days where it spikes up. So you are constantly seeing all these little fluctuations going on a daily basis when it comes to losing weight. Like you could have had, like I said, gone out to eat and you'll see a massive spike on the scale, or maybe, like I said, then maybe a couple days later you get a big whoosh effect, like I call it, and you see a big low spike on the scale. But here's what you're gonna notice. Along this way, throughout losing weight, you are going to see spikes that are up, and then you are going to see spikes that are down. And one of the biggest issues with losing weight is people tend to just focus on these spikes. You get excited when you see it spike down, and then you get pissed off when you see it spike up. When you see spikes like this on a graph, or if you're consistently weighing yourself, spikes are water weight changing in your body. And I don't want you paying attention to the spikes. It is totally fine to be tracking your weight consistently, but you shouldn't be paying attention to the spikes. What you need to pay attention to, let me get a different color here. What you need to pay attention to is you want to see a trend line of your weight going down. So this is an average. So if you are using some sort of app, make sure it has a trend line, because this is the important part that you need to be paying attention to. If that line is going down, then you are losing fat off your body. If that line is not going down, then you're not, and it's staying the same, you're not losing fat. Or if it's going up, then you are gaining fat. But this is what you want to pay attention to. You don't want to get excited when it spikes down in a day. You don't want to get pissed off when it spikes up in a day. You want to understand, take a step back and look at your progress from a weekly or a bi-weekly or maybe even a monthly standpoint, and look at this purple line and then assess. And then maybe if emotions get involved, then assess if you need to make a change, or if you're on the right track and making progress. So once you start understanding these three principles about weight loss, you start understanding that your weight is supposed to fluctuate. But you need to understand that a lot of things are water weight, and that you should be paying attention to trends over time to see if you are losing fat. Now, if you are unsure how to get this trend line, unsure how to make sure it is going down so that you do lose fat, Well, I have a whole free 7-day email sequence where over the next 7 days, I send you an email every single day giving you an action that you can start stacking on top over the next 7 days to get you back on track with losing weight, get you back on track with the routine. If you want that, you can click the link in the description, completely free. You'll just be hearing from me over the next 7 days. And if you feel like you are doing everything right with losing weight and you just can't figure out why things aren't working, then I recommend you watch this next video here where I tell you one of the most uncomfortable truths about losing weight.